Neiman, Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority. 105.9 and AM 630.
Well, it's 8:07 on the Morning Majority. Brian Wilson and Mary Catherine Ham here. Brian Neiman on a little vacay.
What do you got? Man, that smells good. What do you got over there?
You know, they have delicious food here on Fridays, and I already ate a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, and I'm eating again.
I know. See, the guys at Mix 107 down the hall put on a spread of food every Friday,
indeed.
and we go down and rate it.
I wish Jake Tapper could be here to eat it with us, but he's just on the phone. Jake Tapper of ABC News, White House Press Corps. How's it going, Jake?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Hey, by the way, you're working on a book, aren't you?
I am. I'm working on a book about Afghanistan, a book about one outpost in Afghanistan, the whole history of the outpost, who served there, what they did. It's kind of a way of looking at the war in general by looking at just this one little corner.
Well, we look forward to it. I have a friend coming home from Afghanistan today, which is what reminded me of it. So we'll be looking forward to that. Keep us posted on it. I don't know how you found the time. But you were traveling with the president for his speech in New Hampshire. He was out and about doing some fundraising last night. He talked about gas prices in New Hampshire, going full bore on the subsidies to oil companies and oil companies in general. But Secretary Chu's statements about gas prices and the administration's goals on gas prices the other day, saying, you know, our main goal is to wean Americans off of oil, basically, that seemed to step on the president's message a bit. Are those two things getting conflated at all, or is he succeeding?
Well, there's the policy, and then there's the politics. And I think Chu was addressing the policy, and the president was engaging in a little bit of politics, perhaps. Look, I mean, the politics of gas prices are always difficult for the incumbent, whoever it is, because the truth of the matter is presidents don't set the prices of gas. And whether it's Obama making a big issue out of it in 2008, which he did, or Republicans making an issue out of it now against Obama, which they are, the truth is it's complicated. It's an international, the prices are set by international supply and demand. The trends in the U.S. are that demand is and consumption is down because of the recession, and domestic production is up largely because of previous administrations' steps that they took. So those two trends would indicate, or hopefully indicate, that prices would go down, but they're not.
Right.
So President Obama's, dusting off one of these tropes that he discusses quite a bit, which is ending the subsidies for oil and gas companies, and it's part of his larger economic message of who's on your side, which ultimately he thinks will get him reelected.
Well, let me ask you, is there any frustration with the Secretary of Energy over at the White House? I mean, here's a guy who gets up on Capitol Hill and says, are you working to bring the price of gasoline down? And his answer was no, that what he wants to do is get Americans to not use as much oil. That's the stated policy. And that is sort of in conflict with what you would think politically the White House would like to have be said at this moment. Are they frustrated with Secretary Chu?
I haven't heard them voice any frustrations. I mean, I think when you hire Secretary Chu to be your Secretary of Energy, you know that his strengths are in policy, not necessarily in politics. And I think I'd have to go back and look at the transcript, but I think the question is whether or not he considered it his duty to bring prices down, and he said he didn't think it was the goal of the Department of Energy to bring prices down. They had a larger policy goal, as you say, to wean the United States off of foreign oil. I haven't heard any frustration. I'm sure it's one that they wouldn't voice to me anyway.
All right. So can energy prices sink an administration? Can it be the one thing that people will turn around and, regardless of whether or not, as you say, presidents can't control the price of gasoline, they do set in place certain policies. And when you have the secretary making those comments and you have the past decision on the XL pipeline, couldn't voters hold it against the Obama administration that they aren't setting in place the kind of policies that would help gas prices remain low?
Well, it absolutely is a potent political weapon. First of all, beyond the politics of it is what high prices could do to the economic recovery, which is stall it or stop it altogether.
Right. Uh-huh.
Because it's basically a hidden tax. All of a sudden, people are paying this larger tax, not to the government, but to oil companies, and that could affect the economic recovery in a lot of ways. That also feeds into consumer confidence and undermines it, and that could affect President Obama's chances for re-election. Absolutely. So, I mean, without question, they're concerned about the politics of this. That's why we've seen the president do 2 events talking about gas prices and energy in the last week and a half in 2 different battleground states, Florida and then yesterday New Hampshire.
Jake, Netanyahu will be coming to Washington soon, and it's a little bit overshadowed by political news right now, sort of campaign 2012 news right now, but it's a huge deal, and they're going to have talks here. What's sort of the preparation for this and the signals going between the White House and Netanyahu's administration at this time?
Right now, the administration is, they don't know what Netanyahu is going to say. There are reports that he is, from Israeli government officials, that Netanyahu is going to ask the president publicly to make a starker warning to Iran. No longer just saying all options are on the table, but saying, demarking more specifically, if Iran does this, the United States military will do that. That's the report from Haaretz newspaper anyway. The administration says they're not going to respond to reports in newspapers about what Netanyahu may or may not say. But there's a new interview that the president did with the Atlantic's Jeffrey Goldberg, in which he's asked about this term, all options are on the table. And the president seems to suggest that that's enough as far as he's concerned, right, that he doesn't bluff. He uses the term, I don't bluff. And so when he's saying that, he means it, and he thinks the Iranians understand that as well.
Hey, I got about 30 seconds left, Jake, and a question. I know you cover the White House, but you follow politics, no doubt. Everybody in this town who's been around follows what's going on the GOP side of the equation. What's your sense about the possibility of a brokered convention? Because as I continue to look at it each and every day, it seems like it's a more likely scenario than it was the day before.
I just don't buy it.
You don't?
I don't. I mean, Mitt Romney has been preparing for this. He's winning delegates. He will he will probably be the nominee, and if he's not the nominee, then there will be some sort of unity ticket, and with Rick Santorum. I just don't think that there will be a brokered convention. I mean, I think ultimately, I mean, that's not to say there won't be a contested convention.
Well, there you go.
But I don't think the party leaders are going to come in and say, okay, we've decided, even though you've spent millions of dollars in the last 5 years running for president,
right,
Mitt Romney, we like Jeb Bush better, so we're going to have him be the nominee. I just don't see that happening, and I don't see Romney. By the way, if you want to think of a way to make Romney the anti-establishment champion of the grassroots, try doing that to him.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's the way to get the Tea Party behind him.
All right. Thanks, Jake Tapper, senior White House correspondent for ABC News. Always a pleasure to have you.